Hello, farmers, and welcome to another episode of The Harvest Season. My name is Al,
I'm Kevin.
and we're here today to talk about farming games.
Are we?
Yeah, there's farming in it.
Yeah, I know there actually is farming today. If I'm on, there's a less chance.
Most games has some sort of farming in it.
Yeah,
This one certainly does.
right.
It's actually quite a big part of the game.
Yeah, no.
Later on. We'll talk about it later. This episode we're going to be talking about Let's Build a Zoo, which is primarily a zoo tycoon game, but as we mentioned, does have farming in it. So we're going to talk about that later. Before that, we have a bunch of news. But first of all, Kevin, what have you been playing?
Nothing terribly exciting. I don't know how I became this, but I just do the daily grind of games. I play Pokemon Unite. I'm still playing Legends. Legends good. That update came out. It's fun. I haven't finished the deck, so I'm enjoying Legends. I have there's one thing. Oh, Animal Crossing. There's one thing I remember I want to talk about. So I hit credits in the DLC for Animal Crossing. I don't know if people knew that, but there are credits for the DLC.
Nice.
And
is that once you've unlocked all the stuff that you can take back to your main island?
No. No, I think you can unlock most of that before credits actually. There's a few progression markers, like you have to design some certain buildings and whatnot. But what's interesting is that there's more unlocks even after credits. So, that's pretty. Yeah, I was pretty surprised to see that. The gameplay is still the same. You're just designing houses nonstop. But if you enjoy that, there is a lot to do, which was very surprising to see. And the finale is pretty cute. It's kind of a spectacle, which is fun.
I will probably get to that eventually. I started the DLC, but I'm not very far through. I've maybe done like 3 houses or something like that.
I don't blame you. Legends came out.
Yeah. But it's fine because I'll, because I got the DLC on the expansion pack, but I'll certainly have at least another year of that because got to get all those Mario Kart courses.
Oh man, I'm so excited for that. 48. That's a lot.
It's crazy.
It's a new game.
I think that's it. They've sucked me into the expansion pack. Like, I know I could buy both those DLCs, but when I'm paying for them anyway with the expansion pack, it's worth it.
I kind of regret it now that I didn't get it.
If they bring in like one of those things a year, it's suddenly worth the money for it.
Right.
Because actually in the UK, the price is cheaper than the DLC. The increase in price is cheaper than the DLC is.
DLC separately. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm actually saving money.
That's not the case here in the US, I don't think. I think it's comparable. No. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's maybe like
cheaper.
I think I looked at the prices. I think it is slightly more expensive, but not by much.
Yeah, like $5. And the thing was, like, I expected them to do this. I knew there would be add-ons that would add more value to the expansion pass. Yeah. But at the time, only looking at the two things, like, I'll just get the DLC separately. But now I'm kicking myself. So
I think that's fair, and I also think it's fair because, like, especially with the Mario Kart one, it's something that's going to last for a long time. And owning it outright might be the best plan for most people.
Yeah.
But I can see myself having the expansion pack for a long time. And if I get to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to pay for the expansion pack anymore, I can still then buy the DLC if I want. And I would have spent the same amount of money. It's not like I would have spent more money.
That's a good point.
I don't think I'm ever going to go, I will keep paying the expansion pack just for Mario Kart.
Right.
If I get to that point, I'll cancel and buy the DLC. But I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Yeah, no, that's the tricky part because I had the same thought. Like, okay, years from now, am I gonna cancel the subscription and lose everything? Do I want to do that? And I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm very clingy, so that's why I'd probably go for just buying them outright. But
yeah, that's fair. See. Cool. Anything else?
Not really, not that I can think of. No.
Awesome.
What about you, Al? What you been playing?
I have been playing some Legends still, Pokemon Legends, and obviously Pokemon Go and Let's Build a Zoo. I also got back into Pokemon Masters this week.
Oh.
And I still hate it.
Oh. I wanted
I
to
don't
play
know.
that, but my phone can't run it. I'm sad.
Oh, that is sad. Um, I so I don't hate the game as a whole.
Uh-huh.
I hate the battling so much. The battling is
The,
so bad, and I hate it.
I
But I
don't hate the
like the
game, just the part where
I
you
like
play the
the
game.
shut up. I I like the collection aspect of it. I like collecting the characters.
Uh-huh.
But the problem is that it's so expensive to collect all the characters if you don't like
Uh,
play a lot of the games. So
yeah.
I'm like, what do I actually want to do? Do I actually want to play this game? And it's also like, it's the sort of game where it's really hard to, it's almost impossible to have everything. And so you
Oh,
kind of
for
just have to
sure.
accept that you're not going to end up with everything. But I really struggle with that concept. I
I
am a
know, that's your
completionist with
kryptonite.
collections. And I'm like, there's a real danger here that I end up spending a lot of money on this game and just to have this collection of characters that I don't really want to use because I don't want to play the game. So I feel like the safest option for me is to uninstall the game again.
Probably, but
But
but just wait. They're gonna come out with that cool costume for that one character you like.
maybe I just need to like download images of all of them. Have my own collection.
Make collect the
Um,
collect the supporter cards that come out for the characters from the trading
yeah.
card game. There you go.
Yeah, but they don't have the same costumes. Like,
Yeah, no,
May's dress in the latest event
yeah,
is a gorgeous dress.
they're really good. I've
You
seen
know?
them. Skyla has a good outfit too.
Yeah. They're all good. May's is the best out of those three new ones, I think. But yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one. What do digital collections even mean? What does it mean? I can look at them anytime I want. I don't need the collection. Why is there this thing in my brain that needs me to collect things? I should
I
just go
don't
back to
know.
collecting coins.
But isn't the same issue there with the added
I got
cost of physical space?
well, coins don't take up a lot of space.
Pokemon Masters takes up even less space.
I had a very large coin collection for a while.
Coins are pretty cool. I never
Yeah.
did
I
it
mean,
myself, but they're pretty cool.
it was only British coins, but still. I actually have a US cent in my pocket.
No, huh? The U.S. quarters, like 2000-ish, they came out with like a quarter for every state, like a little design on the back. That
Oh,
was fun to
nice.
collect.
United States of America, 1 cent.
How many
Find it
costumes
fun?
will that get you in Masters?
Nope.
Yeah.
Zero, what, 0.0001? Anyway, that's what we've been playing. Before we get into, we just as a little background behind our recording listeners, we've been doing this now for about 2 hours, and we've only just started the episode, so it's going great. We have
And
done
like
the greenhouse
30 minutes of
episode,
that was off
but
recording too.
yeah, I know. Our conversation in the greenhouse was just so good that it
It's a good
continued
one.
afterwards.
It's a good one.
Boy. Anyway, shall we talk about some news?
All right. What do we got
We
this
have a
week?
release date for Capybara Spa.
That's the one made by our friend the lemon cake developer, correct?
Yes, Cozy Bee Games.
Mm-hmm.
The Capybara Spa comes out on the 14th of March. That is 5 days after this episode comes out.
Ooh. And what I like about these
So.
games, they're pretty accurate naming. There's a spa, and yeah, for
Yeah,
capybaras, and
you
you
get what you
wash
see
them.
in the tin.
Yep, as
Yeah, no,
advertised.
definitely.
But
Absolutely.
hey, after Encanto, capybaras are hot now. It's a hot commodity.
Oh, yeah. I saw have you seen the Honest trailer for Encanto?
No, I haven't. Oh.
So one of the things they said in it was, it took Disney this long to realize that capybaras are cool.
It's amazing how much traction that capybara got for like one scene.
Yeah, not just one scene, but like one facial expression.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
basically it. Because the whole point is the capybara doesn't move. That's the entire point. It's active. It's the reason that people like it is because of what it doesn't do.
Oh, they should have that. They should have a indifferent capybara in the spa.
I'm sure there will be. 100 Days, the winemaking simulator, is out now on Switch.
The wine.
And, may or may not have something in the works around that. Couldn't possibly say.
Of wine and winning.
I don't think it's quite the same thing.
No, it's not. Not at all.
100 Days is very definitely a tycoon game.
Yeah, it is.
Sakana is very definitely not. Yeah, so if you wanted to play that game, but you want to wait for it on Switch, it's out now. Go get it. Go get
make
it.
drinking games with it. Go have fun.
Go make the alcohols and sell it. It also includes the what's it called? The Napa Valley. Is that what it is? Napa Valley
update. Yep.
So
new
up to date with
wineries.
the PC version. Ooblets, we've got a teaser for something coming in Ooblets, which is almost certainly a player-run shop. So that's exciting.
Okay, now is this selling to other players? Is that correct?
I presume it's selling to NPCs.
Oh wait, is it? I don't know. I don't remember. Can you interact? Okay. That's
I don't think
cool.
there's any multiplayer in Ooblets.
I've lost track of Ooblets. Okay.
So I might have missed that. I don't think there is though. So I'm assuming what it is just another way to sell your stuff.
Okay. See, I like that. I actually love running shops in games. That's cool.
Yeah, especially if they do the thing where you can change the price and it makes it people more or less likely to buy it.
Yeah.
And you can advertise and stuff like that.
Economic simulator. Yeah, I love it. Good for Ooblets.
Yeah. Next we have a hint of a release for Princess Farmer, and that is just a hint. They have said delivered the last bit of art for in-game release, and we still can't say when we're releasing, but not too far now. Eyes.
Yep. This is
a
puzzle game, despite the farmer name, correct?
A puzzle farming game. It's about farming.
Okay.
It's not farming in the traditional farming game sense of things, but the puzzles are essentially to farm. So you do the farming through the puzzles.
Sure. Yeah. That is a fun gimmick. Their art's really good. Good for them.
Yes. And obviously a very good color scheme. If you don't know, the color scheme is based off the trans flag.
Yeah.
Very deliberately so as well. So if you're interested in that game, apparently the planned release date is Q1 2020, which would mean in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So that would probably work with the
Good for them. Good for
the
Princess
hint,
Farmer.
but we'll see what happens. Next, we have Research Story. This is just a small one. They had a demo up for Steam Next Fest, but they said now the Next Fest is over, they've said that they're going to keep the demo up for people to play afterwards if you didn't manage to do it then. Don't know how long it's going to be up for, but if you're interested in that, you can go try it out just now. Maybe, unless they've taken it down by the time the episode comes out.
I don't know if they have, but good for them. Research Story. That's you're filling out your animal decks and plant decks.
Yeah. So I think there is farming in it as well, and you can there's a load of weird animals. It's not very scientifically accurate.
You're saying the cat? I can't actually find a cat with the sprout growing out of its head?
Not in real life, I don't think so. But I'm willing to be corrected. Maybe willing to be corrected. I don't know.
Wrong?
Next, we have there's an update for Grow Song of the Evertree. This is the Winds of Change update. So if you've been playing that game, you can go get that now. The link in the tweet is broken, so I don't know where to find the actual link and the information on the update. It's out on PC and it'll be coming to console soon.
Oh wait, no, you're right. It's broken too. The five game site is broken. Oh no.
Yep. Awkward. Hopefully they'll fix that. So I don't really know what's in the update, but also I haven't played the game yet. So if you're interested in that, you can go find a link in the show notes and see if it's working or not. Oh, it looks like they're the domain is expired.
Oof.
Awkward.
Oof. You know what's not
Not
awkward?
great.
Our next news story.
What?
Religion. Religion.
Not awkward at all.
It's not Legends DLC, unfortunately. It's the game called Relegend.
Yeah,
Let's see. This was the kicks. I remember I actually like this one. It's kicks. Oh, yeah. I remember now. Have you ever played the game Final Fantasy Life, Al, or have you heard of it?
I have heard of it. I think you told me about it.
Yes. Okay, I played it. Well, if anyone has ever played Fantasy Life, it's a lot like that. It's a kind of do-it-all sort of game. There's farming, there's smithing, there's little animals you can ride around and fight enemies and get weapons and armor and all that. It actually looks kind of nice. Um, I enjoyed Fantasy Life a lot, and like you said, they're approaching to being done, right? That's what the Kickstarter update is. They're making progress.
Yeah, but they've always been making progress. So in the
Yeah.
last time we talked about this, we were pointing out how loads of people are getting really angry about it because it's been years since they had said the initial release, the 1.0 release would be. I think they'd said 2019 or something like that.
Uh-oh, never mind. It is
So
awkward.
oh yeah, I thought you were being sarcastic when you
No,
said it
I
wasn't
didn't
awkward.
know. Oh no.
So this update is saying that they're hoping for their final QA to be finished soon, and then they'll have the 1.0 release out. But I mean, if you just scroll down and look at all the comments, it's
Okay,
people
I didn't see
not
that.
very
Oh,
happy.
oh, this is good. Let's see.
Um,
Refund, please.
yeah, so I think
Oh,
people are probably being a bit unfair with it, but I also understand the frustration.
like they're
Yeah,
oof, they haven't gotten some physical rewards either. Oof, a little bit rough. It sounds like one of the
yeah,
big issues is that they're trying to expand it to have 3 to 4 players, up to like multiplayers. But they said it
yeah.
works on 1 to 2 players, so maybe they should just start with that just to get the game out.
Oh, I was wrong. Estimated delivery on their Kickstarter was June 2018.
Oh,
I was out by a year.
oh,
Makes it so much worse.
oh
4
no,
years.
oh no.
Ugh.
You know what game doesn't have 4 year delivery problems?
Now,
Stardew
now,
Valley. In fact, they did have the opposite. They gave you too much content in the 4 year, including.
uh, new merch.
Yep.
If you've not already spent enough money on Stardew Valley, you can go buy some new merch and some restocked merch. So if you want some earrings, some Stardew Valley earrings, I
Yep.
personally don't want some Stardew Valley earrings,
They are very pretty,
but that's
yes, I
because
know.
I don't have holes in my ears for earrings.
Oh,
Um, if you want a sweater or a pin set or a hand towel, then you can go get them now. There's also an updated vinyl for the 1.4 and 1.5 updates,
I also have a guidebook.
and some restocks of the a restock of the updated guidebook. I think that had already come out,
Uh,
but
it's all very
yeah,
pretty art.
restocked.
Um,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I love it. I've been a lot of people I know have been getting back into Stardew. I should probably too. I haven't played in a while.
Well, it
Um,
is that time of year, you know.
yeah, yeah,
The yearly Stardew update has
yeah.
not happened, this one, which is interesting.
And we should,
We weren't expecting one, but
you know,
it is the first year in 5 years that we haven't had a Stardew update.
well, because we've got the haunted chocolatier that's coming out.
I liked the the soft sh rather than ch, the
Yeah, yeah,
chocolatier.
yeah. You gotta say
Making it
like a
French.
little bourgeois. um, we should note this. You can find all that Stardew merch through Fangamer, which I don't know if people know is actually a fantastic website for a lot of cool merch for little games like this. Well, Stardew isn't
Yeah,
exactly little, but not the major AAA Nintendo
it's not it's
marketing
not little,
force.
but it is indie,
Yes, right, right, and they
which
do
I
a
think
lot
is the
of
key point, right?
yeah. I think they do stuff for even not indie games. I don't know. Do they?
Well, sure, but in terms of like how as indie developers obviously
Oh,
need a lot of help from other people to do
yeah.
things like that,
Right.
because they're not big companies, they can't just have
Yeah.
these things done. So yeah, they're really great. I got the collector's edition a couple of years ago, which I
Yeah.
think I talked about on the podcast and did a video unboxing of, and it came from Fangamer. It's really nice.
Yeah, Fangamer's great. I've bought some stuff from them. So go check them out. Go check out the Stardew Valley and a bunch of other cool stuff that they have.
I feel like I need to update my guidebook. I think mine's the 1.3 version.
I don't think I have one, so I might get one. And oh no, I'll get one, and then I'm gonna play Stardew. Oh no.
Yeah, mine's the third edition of the guidebook. Oh no, that includes 1.4. It just doesn't include 1.5. It's really nice guidebook.
Yeah, no, well, I haven't seen the book itself, but the cover's beautiful. I'm sure the art in there is great.
Holding it in my hand, it's really nice. It's next to my my Animal Crossing guidebook as well, which also doesn't have the DLC. Or
That's how
wonder
they
if they'll
get
ever
ya.
wonder if they'll ever update that or not.
Probably not.
I haven't actually investigated that as to whether they do have an updated one. But finally, we have a new game that's just come to Kickstarter. Ages of Kataria, I
Yeah,
think it's meant to be said.
that's how I call it
Um,
too.
Now, this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
It's not your kind of standard first or third person farming game. It's also not really it's not a standard city builder
Right.
or
Right. It's not like a
tycoon game
exactly.
either.
Yeah.
No.
Because you're
It's
kind of on the ground almost, but you're still hovering above everyone and moving
yeah,
buildings, placing things.
yeah, so they describe it as a village story generator. Develop your villagers' stories as they grow old in your town. Customize your village to your aesthetic and discover a fantastical new land. So I think it is basically a town builder,
Yeah.
but it's much more focused around story than commerce.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but this game looks gorgeous.
It's pretty well done. Art direction's nice, like visually it's pretty nice. Yes. I think some of the human models look a little goofy, but that's just a personal taste. But like technically it's very well done. Um, and to what the interesting gimmick I think they're trying to sell is that the villagers age. They say in 7
Yeah.
weeks of real time they go through a life cycle and they will perish. I don't know. I wonder if that's like Animal Crossing where the clock's always running or not. I don't know,
Oh,
but
interesting. I hadn't noticed that.
I didn't read it from this tell from the trailer. Like I don't know if it's 7 weeks of you playing it or you got to
Oh, it
check
does
on it
say,
like
yeah,
Animal
real
Crossing.
world. It says
Yeah, this
real world weeks. So that
yeah
does sound like it runs in real time.
yeah. So you
Oh, I
might
don't know how I feel about that.
that's how they get you.
I mean, let's be honest, I'm gonna buy this game. It's
It's pretty good.
too interesting not to buy
Yeah,
it.
and what's interesting is unlike like you said, well, I don't know. They describe it as story, but at the very least, your little villagers aren't just little random people. They also have skills, and you can develop their skills to focus
Yeah.
on certain things and whatnot. To be like a miner or a hunter or whatever, and you play little mini games to help them
Yeah.
with that. That's an
It
interesting take
feels
on it.
it feels kind of like a cross in that aspect of Sims and SimCity.
Hmm.
Where you've got kind of a bit of both in terms of like the overall village, but also you can focus in on the individuals and modify them like you can in The Sims. So I like the kind of addition of both of them,
Hmm.
but you're not individually controlling a character to
Right.
go around and do things.
Yeah. So
And it doesn't really talk about farming, but there's definitely some farming in it,
there's cows.
presumably. There's cows, there's I see crops in other menus and stuff. So it doesn't
Yeah.
tout it as like a major feature.
But
So it's not a farming game as such, but it definitely looks interesting to me.
yeah.
And I wanted to talk about it.
You can also get like super animals. You can get unicorns apparently. And you can be a deer person. That's something. Did
That's
If you
something.
want to be deer people instead of villagers? Oh, they also one interesting thing.
Sure.
They said there's little like text stories for your villagers, like little
Mm.
yeah text dialogue things, and you click different options. That'll be interesting to see. Overall, it's pretty. It feels different, right? Because us being
Mm.
the leader in the cottage course game podcast space, um,
Oh,
I like to.
I hate
Um,
it. I hate it so much. So much.
it's interesting to see when people try different angles or twists, and this one feels definitely different from a lot of the other stuff you see. like we said, mixing. It feels like a village management simulator, if you will. I don't know. I'll probably
I
check it out
hate the
too.
word cottagecore,
It's the
but having
best.
looked at the definition, it's probably a better way of describing the games we talk about than
Yeah, it
farming
is.
games.
Yeah, it is.
Cottagecore is inspired by a romanticized interpretation of Western agricultural life.
That's our
It,
brand.
it is centered on ideas of simple living in harmony with nature. Is it? Is it though?
Yeah.
This goes back to the discussion we had about above snakes, right? Um,
Yep.
Themes associated with cottagecore include self-sufficiency, baking, and caring for people. Yeah, fair. Well, the aesthetic is self-sufficiency is not the same as harmony with nature, by the way.
No.
These are two different things that can work together, but doesn't mean they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, like I want to talk about. So in our Slack, we had a conversation about this because Johnny, one of our Patreon supporters, a recent Patreon supporter, thank you for joining, Johnny, brought up the fact that Stardew, the central plot of the game is escaping capitalism and going to run your farm. But the
Mm-hmm.
way that you escape capitalism is by capitalism, because everything that you do in the game is to make money
Yep.
and to expand. And I thought that was an interesting point because we don't really have a game that is kind of against that, where your point is not to expand and build up, but rather to like actually have this harmony with nature and self-sufficiency together.
Yeah.
And I think that's an interesting point that I'd really love a game to focus on.
Well, I mean, like, I remember this discussion, and I somewhat jokingly said Minecraft is probably the closest, but you can do that's kind of how I play Minecraft. I build within the nature and whatnot, but yeah, but that's a sandbox game where you can do whatever. But yeah, I can't think of a game that that's the intent, that's the direction they're trying to lead you.
Yeah. Not sure how I feel about this Wikipedia page when it says that cottagecore is particularly popular within lesbian communities.
Well, have you checked your
Like,
demographics lately, Al?
no, I haven't actually. Although TikTok does seem to think I'm a lesbian.
Well, causation or correlation does not imply causation, but sometimes it
It's very
does.
confusing. Um, I'm not going to include that in the podcast. Right.
All right.
Yes, I like the look of this game. I'm definitely going to back it. I've just not clicked the button yet. The other thing to point out is they have a stretch goal of $80,000 for Switch support, and they are currently at $53,000 with 18 days to go. So it's definitely possible. So if you want that, go do it now, please. I want Switch support, please.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. They got I hope so.
That's all. That's always our thing. That's the kind of fundamental point of this podcast is we want your game on Switch.
It's Switch is the best.
Cool. I think anything else you want to talk about that game, or are we good?
I think I'm good.
We're good. Well, that's the news.
So now,
Lots of varied news.
let's get to work building a zoo.
Yeah. Let's build a zoo. Not to be confused with We Bought a Zoo, the film.
Which had Scarlett
Which I keep
Johansson, to my
confusing the
surprise.
names. Oh, does it?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
I've never
right?
seen the film.
I saw it once. This is whatever.
Is it any good?
It was okay. It's not like it's very 5 movie, like right down the middle. Like I'm not gonna say I
Right.
regretted watching it. I probably won't watch it again.
Okay. All right.
It's what they advertise, right?
Fair
And
enough.
Scarlett Johansson in it. So
I think I want to talk first about first impressions.
yes, go for it.
And overall impressions. And I want to start off by saying that this game has consumed this week for me. Like I can't stop.
Right. Like, okay, I haven't played in a while because, gosh, I don't want to stop. I think like around my surgery is kind of what stopped me. It took a medical crisis to stop me playing this game. So
Hopefully it didn't cause the crisis.
no, I don't. As of yet, I don't think there's a link between this and gallbladder surgery. But anyways, so when I saw this trailer, like at first I didn't realize it was going to be a tycoon game. I didn't know what to expect, but I guess it makes sense. And then when you play it, and yeah, it's just a zoo tycoon game, but it's so addictive. It just
Mm,
consumes you. Oh, I
yeah.
really have sunk a lot of time in this game. And you're playing it right now, Al? You said you played recently, right?
I am playing as we speak.
Right? And it's because it scratches so many itches. It has, gameplay loops that are satisfying, and it has, customization and build what kind of sandboxy elements. The aesthetic and presentation are pleasing. It's light and entertaining. Um,
It balances the we need bigger numbers quite well with the you're getting bigger numbers. Like
uh-huh.
that's always one of the key things with these tycoon games is can you increase the number quickly? And if you can, you're more likely to keep playing so that you can increase the number
Yep.
more.
Yep. Oh my gosh. The number can get real big, sometimes too big. Um, oh,
Well, too big, but then you go and spend it all on buses.
yeah. Yeah, but yeah, yeah, you
Buses
do.
get really expensive.
They get. Oh my gosh, I'm in the couple million. Am I a millionaire? I can't remember. I have to look it up when I'm at. But
Oh,
my primary
I'm
one,
not that high.
I'm making. I think I make like 100,000 a day, something like that.
Woofed.
It the numbers.
I'm currently making about 10K
Yeah,
a day. So I'm
no,
quite
the numbers
significantly
can get
below you.
real big. Um, and so yeah, I guess for people who aren't aware, you're building a zoo, and you plot everything. You build your fences, you put animals, you have people come in and they spend money to look at your zoo, and you build it up. You get more animals, you get some shops, you pretty up your zoo, and more people come, etc., etc. I guess we should start with the animal mechanics, because that's kind of the primary
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, let's do it. It's
Um,
also the kind of the because the animals, there's one aspect of the animals that's kind of their unique selling point. So yeah,
yeah,
let's talk about animals
yeah,
first.
right, right, right. Um, so you start off with bunnies, right? When you start your zoo, they give you a bunch of bunnies, and the bunny animals will breed in this game, so you naturally get more bunnies, and then eventually you can get more animals through a few different ways. There's like a rescue center where you can adopt animals basically, so you can add to your bunny population, or they happen to have a new animal that you could add. Um, and you can also trade animals. Eventually, there's other zoos you learn about, and you can exchange animals with them. They're looking for a bunny, and they'll give you, I don't remember what a goose, I think, is the first one. And then you have and they always give you a pair to start with, so you can breed, so they can start breeding. Um, and then you have, yeah, that's how you get more animals. More zoos open up more trades. You trade with them. What's interesting is I say bunnies, but there's actually variations. Like every animal has 10 variations, like
Yeah.
genetically and whatnot, like breeds or whatever. So sometimes, or not sometimes, actually all the time, the for the trades you need a specific variation. You don't need just a
Yep.
bunny. You need X kind of bunny or whatever. And so that'll be like a goal for you. Like, okay, how am I gonna get these? And genetics is a thing in this game, right? It's because you have the
Yep.
white bunny and the black bunny, and they make maybe a brown bunny X% chance or whatever. They give you all that information for breeding, and so you're kind of trying to navigate that to get the variations you want and whatnot.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's you have to kind of go through a series of breeding to get everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just like a single line, there's like two lines.
Yeah.
So there's always like two of the like upper one, the ancestors, I guess,
Uh-huh.
that you have to get to end up getting the whole line. So if you just from the bunnies you get at the beginning, you can get I think six of them, but
Mm-hmm.
to get the other four types of bunnies, you need to find the other ancestor.
Oh, I never
And
realized that.
yeah. So if you look at there's like a line you can look at. Where is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I know they show you like
Is
the
it where you click
lineage
on an
thing.
individual one? Hmm. The lineage. It's like two straight lines to the end.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, it's 5 and 5. So it's just two straight lines. You unlock five from one and five from the other.
Okay. I never caught that, but that's interesting.
Um, I think that's how it works anyway. Because I currently have all 5 of one line of bunnies unlocked. I do not have any of the other ones. But with is it the snakes I have more, or is it the? But yeah, so the breeding is interesting in 2 aspects. So that's one of them. But the other interesting aspect of the breeding is that you can. So they've integrated CRISPR into this game.
It's one of their selling points, really.
It is absolutely their unique selling point. So you can not only breed 2 of the same animal to get a different animal, you can also clone an animal using CRISPR, and you can also crossbreed between different species. So you can, for example, let me just take one of my animals here. I have a goobit, which is a goose rabbit.
Yeah.
So it's the body of a goose and the head of a rabbit.
And you can
And there
crossbreed
are
any animals, fuse them together.
Yeah. Here's another one which I have, which is called a duckig, which is the body of a duck and the head of a pig.
Yep.
There are, I believe, 200,000 different combinations you can get of these animals.
That's insane.
Yep.
I have a capybara pig.
No.
So what's interesting to me is that this is the selling point. They put it on their marketing and the splash page for the game and all that. But I don't know. It's not heavily incentivized. Um, uh, I'm not. I haven't found myself doing that many fusions myself. I don't know about you, Al, but
I think it depends how you play this game. I think
right.
one of the things about this game is that it has many different ways you can play. We'll get into some of the aspects of it later. Like we've not talked about the morality aspect. We're going to talk about that later. But with that and with the breeding, the CRISPR, with the different ways that you can run your zoo, I think they're really, really trying to get into like, you can run this in so many different ways.
Yeah,
And if you
absolutely.
don't want to crossbreed, you don't have to.
No, certainly I'm not, and it just
But you can.
yeah. Yeah, that is very nice. It is definitely it's tycoon game, which are kind of sandboxy in nature, but this one feels especially they
Yeah.
give you a lot of options and a lot of room to make things how you want. And yeah, so but it is still fun to see the different combinations you can get. One thing about the CRISPR, something that I didn't realize until way later is that well, I guess we have to start talking about looking after the animals, because
Mm.
CRISPR can clone animals, not just fuse them. You can
Yeah.
create just if you have the variation unlocked, you can just create a new one of that animal from DNA samples or whatever. Just go to your
Yeah.
CRISPR building and you can just make one after amount of time. Um, and that's important because this is now tying into a lot of the gameplay, which is taking care of your animals, which is a lot of work, actually, I find.
Y- Yeah. Let's talk about that then, because I think this comes into um, probably my main issues with this game. So I kind of like this game and I kind of hate it, and this is why. So my issue with this game, I think, is a similar issue to what I have with most tycoon games, and that's that it's a very intense game.
Oh boy,
I
is it?
feel like I feel like these games should be a lot less stressful than they are. But I think this one is particularly bad at it in that you can't just let it run and
Oh
go
no,
through
Th-
a month of in-game time
this is no
and just
cookie
let it all
clicker.
do the job. It does not work like that. Um, there's a couple of things. So first of all, um, you food for your animals you have to like manually buy. You can't
Yeah.
have like set up an order.
Uh-huh.
Although you can replace that with farming, but you have to like start off the process with farming. The other issue is your animals die of old age or of hunger or thirst,
Uh-huh.
and if they do that, you have staff members who are undertakers who take the bodies and take them to the furnace. But as far as I can see, they never do it automatically.
Nope.
You have to tell them about the dead bodies.
Yep.
And those two things combined lead to massive issues, especially especially if you have rabbits.
Yeah.
Rabbits, I love and hate the
Yeah.
rabbits. The rabbits are ridiculous because the rabbits breed. Like, have you noticed this?
The
The
numbers
different
get
animals breed
so
at
big.
different
Yeah,
rates.
yeah, it
They get
mimics real life
absolutely
rates.
insane.
Yeah. Which
And
is
I got to the point where I ended up with I was so confused because I was like, how have I got so many rabbits? And realized they were all breeding. You can turn the breeding off.
yes,
You can put them on birth control.
yes,
Um,
yeah.
but I didn't realize that to start with. There's just I ended up in a situation where I had a pen which had 50 live and 25 dead
Gosh,
rabbits in
that's
it.
a big pen. Um,
I
no,
just hadn't been paying that too much attention to
right,
it, and I
right.
hadn't noticed.
No, I had a
That
similar
they'd bred
issue.
like crazy.
I had a similar issue because yeah, it's yeah, that's one of the things about the game that they don't explain this to you exactly, that you need to watch out for that. Because I had a rabbit extinction on my zoo, basically. All my rabbits died sadly for a bit.
Oh no.
Uh
Rip.
and because they all, they breed so quickly, so they all kind of age at the same time and they all kind of died at the same time. There
Oh
were
no.
a few things I learned from that to help curb that if anyone wants to play. One, well, I guess three things. One, the contraception, the birth control, like Al said, um, to help control, stop them from breeding anymore. Uh, Two, there is a function where you can donate your animals. I think the in-game thing says
Yeah.
like to other zoos, so you can donate them before they get too old because there's a certain point where they lose the ability to breed. Like real animals when they get too old.
Yeah.
So if you see them hit that point, you can just donate them for no penalty at all,
The,
really. So you don't have to clean up the dead
well,
body
there is a
later.
penalty.
There is?
There is a penalty. It
What is it?
costs money.
Oh, okay, money. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But I don't think it's that
So it costs
much.
money to donate. It's also quite time consuming, I found, to donate.
Sure.
Um so what I ended up doing was there's a have you had the release hub?
Yes, I have the release hub.
So the release hub was very useful for that. I now use the release hub. I've got breeding
Yeah,
turned on in all my pens, and I just use the release hub now.
yeah.
The problem was that you could only, and we'll get into the morality in a minute, but you could only get the release hub when you had, I think it was 50 morality. No,
Yeah. No, it takes a
75.
while to get the release hub.
75 morality. Um, so only in certain play styles can you even get the release hub.
Yep.
Which is it's fine because they're trying to give you reasons to do the different game styles of play.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I get that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it does mean that you just end up with a lot of rabbits
Oh,
before you realize that you
so
can put them
many.
on contraception.
But anyways, but yeah, I had a rabbit extinction, and that's when I realized, oh, I can use CRISPR to generate new rabbits, bring them back from the
Yeah.
dead. But yeah, and there's a few other nuances of taking care of animals. Like you draw the pens yourself, basically. You design their shape and size, and
Hmm.
animals have space requirements, which depends on the animal. You have to keep them enriched. You have to put toys and little structures in them. You can,
Trampolines.
yep. Oh my gosh, so many trampolines. You can,
You ever seen a snake on a trampoline before?
you will
It's
in
very
this game.
fun.
You control their water and their food, not just like making sure it's on hand like you're talking
Mm,
about, but you can
yeah.
manage what the food is made of to, make them
It's
healthy or
really
whatnot.
detailed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously the more healthy, it's probably more expensive, and it all ties into the economics of everything. So and like, we're talking about all these things, and we're just using the bunnies as an example. But I have, hold on,
Yeah.
let me see here. One, two, three. I have a lot of pens. Give me a minute to count them up. Okay, 14. I'm probably like at 30 to 40 pens of different
Oh,
animals,
wow.
and there's still
Yeah.
more to unlock. And so it gets pretty hectic. When I said the numbers get big, I was talking about animals too. um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and some animals, like I unlocked monkeys, they'll breed like rabbits really fast. And then some, like
Yeah.
crocodiles, only spawn a baby once every 3 months or something like that. and they all have different food requirements, space requirements, enrichment requirements. So it gets busy. Like you said, it can get pretty stressful. But I still find it
Yeah,
satisfying though, because the animals are cute and it's just fun to build them up.
they are, and it's also a good example of how you can do, so one of my issues with tycoon games nowadays is I find my brain doesn't work really well with the 3D tycoon games,
Uh huh.
and I don't know why it is. Like, modern SimCity games or City Skyline or any of these kind of 3D style
Mm-hmm.
tycoon games break my brain, and I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this one, because it's basically 2D,
Yeah, it's
um,
2D pixel art, we
it's
should say,
much easier for my brain to cope with.
and everything works on a grid, like little squares where you
It
draw your
does, yeah.
paths and pens.
So it's a really good example of how you can have that really nicely
Mm-hmm.
designed. It obviously it's kind of your 8-bit style graphics, but it doesn't feel old. It
No.
feels fresh and new,
Yes.
and there's great colors and everything merges well together. And even simple things like the babies are just a smaller version of
Yeah,
the
they're
sprite.
cute. They're adorable. They're just tiny
It's still
versions.
it's clearly just like tongue in cheek. I love it.
Yeah. Um, it's great. Gosh, like all this is about the animals, but there's still so much more to the game. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, there's so much. It's this game it looks small, but there's so much in it. Like I wrote down here about the upgrading process, which is a big part of the progression in the game.
Mm.
Uh, y-
Just before we get into
yeah.
that, let's just quickly go over. So we don't want to go too much detail about any of these things.
Okay.
I think the animals is probably the one we wanted to go in
Sure.
enough, most detail because it's kind of the unique thing, and maybe
Right.
we'll talk a bit about the farming later on. But it probably is important to talk about. There's also a whole bunch of other things you need to manage
Oh,
in
yeah.
terms of, you define how much it costs to get into your zoo. You are managing the buses to get there,
Yep.
which you upgrade in the
You open
upgrading thing we'll talk about.
shops,
You open shops, you're managing the happiness of your guests
set
as
their
well as how
prices.
many come in, how many can get there. You're
Even
basically
your
dealing with the whole
employees,
process.
their pay and all that.
You hire your own you hire them
You have to
directly.
hire every
You choose how
employee.
much to get paid there. Yeah, can I hire a hiring manager for goodness sake?
Wouldn't that be nice?
um the you can also have like power generation and water recycling, these sorts of things. Like you can do so many different things in this game that
Gosh.
we're not going to touch too much,
Hmm.
but it's just important to say that if you love the idea of managing these things, like there's so much to manage.
And
It is the ultimate spreadsheet, the game, right?
it basically is. And on that note, so all these things we're talking about, not only do they exist, but you can upgrade them. You can upgrade
Yeah,
like everything in the game, to work better, faster, etc. And yeah,
even your employees.
even your employees, jeez.
It's so awkward the employees have a star rating.
And like there's the upgrade thing is interesting because it's an interesting system because it's basically a grid, and you click on one square and okay, there's your upgrade. You spend your upgrade points and it unlocks more upgrades around that square, and so you kind of expand the grid um as you're upgrading
Yeah.
different things. So that was just a neat thing to see. But and there's even like secret unlocks and stuff that you can do later on. I've found some crazy stuff. Like do you mind if I just share one, Al? One of the more
Yeah,
entertaining
go for
ones.
it. Go for it.
Okay, so do you have cows yet?
No, I don't.
Okay, so I had cows, right? And I don't know if it was involved with other tasks, but anyways, at one point, a UFO comes and abducts one of my cows. That's an event that just happens.
What?
And the next in-game day, the UFO crashes, and I unlocked a UFO as like a sculpture or something like that. It's nutty.
Amazing.
There's so many, and there's lots of little secret things like that. And you can fund different people, and they unlock different stuff. I there's just the game's very tongue in cheek too. lots of parodies and references, and it's just so lighthearted and fun. All the different things you can do.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess one of the last big things we need to talk about is the morality system, because that's tied into all this upgrade stuff too.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the other kind of. I don't know if it's unique, but it certainly feels quite unique to me. I've not seen it like this in a game
Mm-hmm.
before. There are many things you can do, not everything, but many things you can do that affect your morality rating.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a number, and it goes. I don't even know what the upper limit is, but I know it's
It's
certainly
like I
higher than
think it's like
100, but I
100.
don't know how high it
Is it?
is.
I don't know, but yeah.
It must be higher than 100 because I'm at 85, and the bars are not even at half.
Let's see. Oh,
Um,
I'm at 108. Yeah. No, I don't know what I'm at.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
exactly.
you're
It's
right.
I
Okay.
don't know where it goes to. And
Um.
so your morality is based on a bunch of things. So for example, there's four categories of morality: animals, people, business, and pollution.
Mm-hmm.
In the animals, the you get positive morality numbers and you get negative ones.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, do you euthanize or donate unwanted animals? So if you donate some animals, you get a positive morality. If
Mm-hmm.
you euthanize them, you get negative morality.
Are they
And there's just a
healthy and
bunch of
stuff?
different things like
Mm-hmm.
that. There's things like, how much do you pay your staff? When you fire staff, do you pay them well for their severance?
Do you report
There's
black market
pollution.
dealers, or do you get the
Do you
animals from
yeah,
them?
exactly. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of stuff like that. The first time I had a black market deal, I was like, "Oh, what's happening here?" So the run I'm currently doing is a moral run. I'm
Yeah.
definitely doing as much of the positive morality as possible.
Yeah.
But I really want to reset. I do another one of negative just to see how
Yeah.
that goes because I think it'll be really interesting. Because there's things, and it's just there's so much complexity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like it's not just the black market dealers of do you buy dodgy animals, but there's also like a scientist that will come to you occasionally and say, "Hey, I can make a robot animal," or there's someone
Yeah.
else who says, "Oh, I can make your
Goose look
I
like a
can paint
peacock.
your goose and make it look like a peacock
Yeah.
and stuff like that." You're just there's so much detail in this game,
Yep.
and all these things affect your morality, and I love it.
Yep. One of my biggest issues with the game is with the morality system, and not because of that, because I love the complexity and different things that can affect it. But what I don't like is that it's an either or system for the most part. Because you're
Mm,
either good moral or not good moral, and they have different unlocks, right? So if you're good positive moral, you unlock farming basically. That's how you
yeah.
reach the farming route. But if you're negative moral, you unlock industry. You turn your animals into burgers and whatnot in factories. So
Yeah,
and yeah, the only thing, at least at first, you can't do them both. Eventually,
yeah.
I don't know if you hit that point, Al, but you can unlock different zoos. Um, kind of like in the
Ooh, no, I haven't done
yeah.
that.
So kind of like
Interesting.
in tycoon games, like Roller Coaster Tycoon, they say, okay, here's different land plots that you can start your game. Like this one has a lot of water, or this one, whatever, right?
Yeah.
They offer a few different zoos like that here too, and one of them is basically the sandbox zoo, where they say, okay, here there's no morality
Mm.
system. You can do whatever you want.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So I haven't explored it that yet,
I
but it
suspect
offers.
I
Hmm.
suspect you should be able to do both in the same run, but you have to like max out your morality and then do everything bad after that
Well, here's the
and
thing.
unlock all
If
the
you
other
do
stuff.
that, it locks out the good morality things. Like I had a
Even the ones you've already built.
yeah, early on I had
Huh.
windmills, which were like a positive morality unlock,
Yeah.
but my morality dipped, and when it dipped below the threshold, my windmills just stopped working.
Huh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it locks you out. I don't know how that affect farming and
Oh,
stuff, but at least the windmills stopped working. So that's why
that's very
yeah,
interesting.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, it would be nice if you could kind of do a bit of both. But I'm not sure I would.
Yeah.
Because I just feel bad about that.
You're
But
so
yeah, no,
cute.
it's
I feel
interesting.
so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to kill my rabbits. Um, yeah, no, I'm trying to think if there's so the morality system is fun. I like it.
Yeah.
There's so much to this game. It's hard
There's
to know exactly what we want to
yeah, there's
discuss.
so many like the aesthetics and decorations. Like there's different themes. You can have jungles, deserts, not just for the pens, but like the park decorations and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what your zoo looks like, but mine kind of looks like a grid. just rows and columns of pens. It's a little bland, but it's because expanding your zoo kind of happens in that fashion, where you just get
Yeah.
square plots, so kind of just naturally worked into that. But
I've rearranged it a couple of times, but yeah, it's mostly a grid system.
yeah,
Uh, I mean, there's a reason that a grid system is a thing you go to. It works,
yeah,
you you know,
it's pretty
um,
inherent to
pretty
human
standard.
nature. Feels like.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, no, I just yeah,
There's so like the skills tree as well. What you were talking about is like so big.
it's
Um,
huge.
I
Let me
don't
see.
know exactly how many it is, but it looks like something like 20 by
I've
20.
hit the edges of it. Let's see, I'm trying to remember where the other. Oh my god, 20 by 20. Yeah, it might be that big. It's maybe, yeah, no, I'd say maybe 18 by 18, maybe bigger. I don't know. Somewhere in that 2020.
Okay.
Bigger than 15 by 15 for sure. It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can just, like, a lot of them are, a lot of decorative items, like I said, the different themes and
Yeah.
whatnot. But there's some big ones, like different buses or different functions for your zoo. Um,
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can build a subway system in
yeah,
your zoo,
yeah,
which
I
is
have a few of them.
quite fun.
Yeah.
There's also like just back on the complexity issue. There's just things like building paths when your zoo makes your visitors walk quicker.
Uh-huh.
Um, but they're not necessarily going to walk along the path.
Yeah.
So you have to design your zoo in such a way that they have to walk along the path.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
It's just the difference in their speed is quite significant.
Oh, yeah.
And so like you can get more people in the same space and they might spend more money because they're able to get to places quicker and blah
Or
blah
even
blah
your
blah blah.
employees to reach your animals, they got to get there fast.
Yeah, that too, that too. But they'll still I just love like all of the different parts of that. How
Yeah.
like yes, you can do that, but they'll still wander off if you let them.
Yep.
Um, it's so detailed, and you don't think it's going to be that detailed. It doesn't feel like it is,
No,
but
it doesn't at
after
first.
a small amount of time, you're just like, this is insane. You know.
Yeah. Um,
Uh,
it's so addicting, because the loop, it's just so, it works so well. You're building up like,
yeah.
ooh, I can unlock a new animal. Ooh, I can build a new thing for this animal. Ooh, I can upgrade, etc., etc. Like right now, I want to get some walruses, but I want to have my wolf ready. I need a spare wolf to give it to them. This game's fantastic.
Crazy. Um, is there anything else we want to talk about this? We don't have to go into too much detail if we don't
No,
want to. I think we've discussed quite a lot of it.
yeah.
Um, I think we've probably given a good idea. Like, I think if you're interested
If you
about
like
the
tycoon games at all, give this one a whirl because it's a really good one. Um, did they get one
yeah,
with the Switch
I think
release? I think they did because I got it on Steam.
no, I don't.
I
No,
think
I
they're
don't
going
think
to.
so. I haven't seen anything about that, but maybe I've just been ignoring it.
Let me see. Let's see here. They are bringing it to Switch.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if it's out yet, but I hope it. I can't wait for it to come out on Switch so people can play it and more
Yeah,
people can play it and see it because it's a fun little game that deserves a lot. And I think it was pretty successful. That's why they're
yeah,
going to consoles. It's very fun.
agreed. Highly recommend it if you like tycoon games. Yeah, so I guess my biggest, I was talking about my issues with it. I think my biggest issues is just because it's a tycoon game. It's a lot more intense than I would like for my general gaming playing. Like, I think what I like about farming games is that you can just, um, you can just do it casually when you want
Hmm.
to, how you want to,
Yeah.
etc., etc. But it just doesn't work that way. Uh,
No, look,
you
I'll
got to
agree
be
with
on
that.
top of things,
That's like, uh,
you know.
I know you're Mr. Automation, and I'm generally the
Mm,
kind of guy who likes to do pet my cows myself and all that. But your zoo can get really big and really busy. It'd be nice if you could hire
yeah.
managers who could automate some of that stuff for you.
Yeah, yeah. But this, I mean, it's always an issue with these tycoon games, right? You're always doing more than you really should be doing, but because they don't just want to be cookie clickers, and I get that. Um, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I don't think it's the sort of game I'll be playing for months on end.
No, like
Uh,
I said, I stopped and haven't come back to it. But every time you do come back, it's a lot of fun. Like tycoon
yeah,
games, I guess. Yeah, it's one of those just in bursts.
yeah,
So go build a zoo,
absolutely.
everyone.
Let's build a zoo. See what I did there?
Yep.
I made a funny joke. Sorry, I'm just building a new enclosure for my monkeys because I didn't have the right.
You didn't
I
have.
didn't have the right enclosure for it before.
How could you not? That's the first thing you got. It's such. Oh, that's such a
Well,
pain
the
to move
monkeys one,
them.
it took me ages to unlock. I only just unlocked it.
They tell
So I just need to
you.
give them some water. Yeah, they tell you, but I couldn't see where it was in the unlocking thing.
Oh, you didn't have that. Oh, you didn't unlock the enclosure. Oh, I thought you meant the monkeys. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. No,
no, the
that's rough.
enclosure.
That's rough. Oh,
Um, got
monkey.
to give them some uh cardboard boxes to be in.
Oh. You know, in the upgrade grid, you can filter and it'll show you like the general spots of where the unlocks are, like where the habitats.
Yeah, I know,
Okay.
but it then takes a while
I
to
know.
get to them all.
I'm just saying because I didn't know for a while.
Oh,
I
okay.
was blindly
Yeah, no, I found
stumbling
that very
along.
useful. Yeah,
Man, monkey bear, piggy bear. Where's
awesome
that one in
sauce.
Encanto? Where's the piggy bear? Let's see. That little kid talked to my piggy bear.
Piggy bear. Right. I think that's enough waffling. Thank you, Kevin, for chatting to me about Let's Build a Zoo.
Thank you, Al. This was a blast. I'm glad. I don't know how I ended up with this game, but I'm glad I sunk my teeth in. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've been trying to do this episode for months, I think, haven't we?
Yeah, that's right.
Keeps getting rescheduled. Um. Yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you, listeners, for listening.
And where on the internets can they find
Um.
you, Al?
Sorry, I need to stop playing this game. I keep getting distracted by the
This
game.
is the biggest
Yes.
endorsement of the game. Like this is how much it
Kevin,
sucks you in. All right,
where,
look, I'm
where can people
Kevin.
find you
Find
on the
me at
internet?
KoopaPrez for my personal tweeter. Find me at Spriter Squared if you want to see my art. I made a pixel of the new pixel art of some of the new Pokemon from Gen 9 stuff. What is this? THS Pod? Is that the podcast tweeter?
Yes, you can find the podcast at THS Pod on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at the Scottbot. Scott has one T.
And check out the Patreon.
You can also stop it, Kevin.
No, but they need to for this greenhouse.
Yes, but I have an order that these things go in, and you're ruining it.
Okay. What's next?
You can also email us from our website, harvestseason.club, where you can also find links to everything else to do with the podcast, including our Patreon. And in the upcoming episode of the Patreon exclusive podcast, we start off talking about Pokemon and we end up talking about the Holocaust. So
And everywhere in between. So you're gonna need that email when you hear this next episode.
It's a wild ride.
Oh, it's a good one.
You'll just have to wait, and you'll have to subscribe to find out what that was all about.
Come watch two pasty boys solve racism.
No, don't say it like that.
Oh, that's exactly what they're getting.
Yeah, well, okay, fine. It's been a good run. I look forward to being cancelled. No, that makes it sound like I was being racist. I wasn't being racist.
Oh, don't worry. If they didn't cancel you already, you're probably.
Thank you all, and until next time, have a good harvest.
The Harvest Season is created by Rochelle Delaney and Al McKinley, with support from our pro farmer level patrons, Kevin and Stuart. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode. Thanks for listening.
Is putting my animals in separate pens racism? Find out on the next episode of The Greenhouse!